Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back. We are back with another Sunday, 9 p.m. London, UK time, and we are back with a live. As always, I've got a couple of lovely ladies lined up today. Uh, if you're joining, come through. Oh, was that my phone? Oh, that was weird. Um, come through. Welcome, welcome. Before we get started and we get the first guest on, I want to pose a question to you guys at the moment. Um, So I know a guy who is in a relationship. He's in a relationship with a great girl. And I think it's quite new. But in this relationship, she still has photos of the ex all on her page. I'm just curious. What do you guys think about that? And it's like, it's not that she forgot to remove them, but it's more very much that because they're still quite recent photos from last year, but he's also been posted on her Instagram. So I don't know. Maybe am I being weird? Is it weird for your current partner to have photos of their ex on their Instagram page? Do you know what I mean? And if it's like in the highlight reel, sometimes that's easy to forget, but you should remove it, of course. But then I don't know, especially when there are only like, you know, 10, 15 photos back. Do you guys think that's weird? Hey ho. Anyway, welcome back. Stay sit with Kit, 9 p.m. Couple of lovely ladies lined up, and let's get the first guest on. And as you guys are coming into the chat, feel free to give a wave in the chat. Tell me what you think about what I just said about that story. Is it weird for your current partner to have photos of their ex on there? Um, I think I'd find that a bit weird. Do you know what I mean? But hey ho. Let's get our first guest onto the stage without further ado. Kaylee.
Hey,
Hello, hello, hello. How are you?
I'm good. How are you today?
I'm good. I'm good. Kaylee's joining us from all the way of sunny Australia.
It's getting cold now, coming into winter, but it was really
Yeah,
cold.
of course. And it gets cold over there for sure. Listen, I want to jump right in, Kaylee. So tell us your age and what you do for a living.
So I'm 34, and so I work in superannuation, which is like the Australian version of the pension. So
Okay.
I actually the insurance complaints space at the company. So yeah,
That
it's
sounds like
very.
a high stress job.
It's actually not. It's actually really chill.
Okay,
Very
cool.
it's very flexible. Like they look after us really well. Really good culture. Really good pay. I actually really
Nice.
enjoy my job. So
Oh, great.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
that's awesome. Oh, we
yeah,
love that for you for sure.
yeah.
Um, and what do you want from your love life that you feel you aren't getting at the moment?
Oh, I think we've just discussed this before. Like we jumped on the thing, but for me, I really struggle. I just feel like people don't know how to date anymore.
Okay.
I feel we're in this generation. It's very much a hookup culture. I feel men are very intimidated quite easily as well. I seem to scare men very easily. Not that I do that intentionally. So
Mhm.
yeah, that's probably my biggest struggles at the moment. I feel yeah.
Yeah, yeah, sure. And you are right. Guys are definitely much more nervous of kind of maybe approaching.
Mm.
But you say that you feel that you intimidate men as in particularly like what do
Have
you think
friends
that
say
where that
I'm
comes from?
I feel like I don't mean to be intimidating. I find it quite ironic when friends tell me I'm intimidating because when it comes to a guy that I like, I'm actually quite shy and awkward myself. So, um,
Okay.
yeah, it's quite interesting, quite ironic that I get told that because I feel like I'm not like that when I'm around someone that I have a romantic interest in, if that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, cool. So if I were to ask your friends, what is it about you that is intimidating to guys? What would they say?
They'd say, because I'm independent. I've been single for a while. I'm independent. I'm very like if I want something, I'll just go get it. Do you know what I mean? Like if there's anything I'm not happy in life with, like if I don't like my job or something, then I'm that sort of person that will kind of do something about it.
Yeah.
So those kind of qualities, I guess. And I'm quite loud. Like I have a loud voice. I project, but I'm kind of like a extroverted introvert, if that makes sense. Like I can be quite sociable, but I can also be very quiet, timid. Like I'll rather have someone else kind of like lead the group and take charge of things. So yeah,
Okay. I hear
interesting.
that. I hear that. And
Yeah.
I love the idea of, like you're a go-getter, you go after what you want, which is great. Obviously
Yeah.
that definitely works in your career. Do you do that with the guy that you want?
No.
Why not? Why?
That's probably the one thing, yeah, because like I said, I get really awkward and shy. I think it's a lack of confidence myself. Yeah,
Okay. So
yeah.
I get what you're saying, or I get when our friends can be like, oh, it's because you're really independent and guys are intimidated by that. And I'm gonna be completely real with you, Kaylee. Guys aren't intimidated by women's independence.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. As in it's like a guy's gonna be like, oh, she's too independent for me to date.
Mm,
Because if anything, it means that almost some guys almost see it as a plus because it's like, okay, cool. She's not going to require much from me.
mm.
So the independent aspect isn't usually what is intimidating for guys. Usually it's the energy that comes with being Miss Independent.
Ah, that makes
Do you see what I'm
sense.
do you see what
That
I'm
makes
saying?
sense.
Because it's kind of like, oh,
Yeah.
if you're, really independent, you're like, yeah, I'm gonna go get what I want. And you have this kind of, forward energy, this kind of, dominant energy and stuff, which obviously is great for certain parts of our lives for sure, especially career. Do you know what I mean? And I'm pretty sure, you said you enjoy your job, and usually we enjoy what we're good at. So I imagine you're very good at your job. And I imagine those qualities really help you, obviously. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, but when we bring that energy into a social environment, that's when if some people are, let's say, I know you said you're an extrovert introvert, but if you have a
Mm,
guy who might like you and maybe he's not as extroverted as you, that can be a bit intimidating.
mm.
And a lot of the time because he thinks, oh, you want a guy to match your energy, and he's like, I'm just not that.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. That
um
makes.
have you found that maybe guys that you're interested in, are, the- do, are they intimidated by you? Like, how are they around you when you're around them? Because you kind of say you get a bit kind of my shy and quieter and stuff.
Yeah, there was one guy recently. Yeah, I was a bit awkward. He was a bit awkward, and then he kind of ran away from me. So I don't know. I feel like I scared him or something.
He ran
So,
away from you? What? Tell us the situation. What happened?
oh, he was gonna walk me home, and then like we kind of got to my door, and when someone would actually stop and say goodbye, he just kind of kept walking and was just like, "Oh, see you later," and just kept walking. So I don't know. I feel like I scared him, or I did something. I did
Okay.
some. Yeah, I don't know.
Was
I don't know what that meant.
when you kind of reflected on that, was there something that was there a highlight for you where you kind of, oh, did I do this, or was there something that I did here? Did he
I
give a certain reaction at a certain point?
I couldn't think of a specific thing throughout the night that led to that. Yes, that one kind of left me confused. I was like, okay, that's never happened to me before. I don't know what that means. What I might have said or
Okay,
done. Yeah, I don't
I hear
know.
that. And was that a date, or was that more like just a social setting, and he just
It
happened
was
to
just so.
walk you home?
Yeah, it wasn't really a date. No, it was a social.
Okay. So in like the social setting, how was he with you? Were you guys talking a lot? Like, were you having a lot of one-on-one time? Was it just kind of more, oh, we're both walking the same
A
way, so
little
let's walk
bit,
home?
but like a little bit, but I felt like he was talking more to others throughout the night than myself. I mean, I was trying, and I felt like I could have put myself out there. Like I said, I get really awkward and shy, and if I kind of get the vibe that they're not really interested, I don't put myself out there when I probably should have. So I regret that. But
Sure.
yeah, I don't know. It's just a bit of an awkward night all round, to be honest.
I get that. I get that.
Yeah.
And it's true, kind of no risk, no reward, right?
Mm,
Sometimes, if we want to be found, we have to put ourselves in a situation to be found, essentially.
yeah.
Um, so with that particular evening or scenario, like you say that you felt you didn't really put yourself out there, what would you do in that scenario again?
I definitely, yeah, go up to him more, maybe initiate conversation, especially if he wasn't very confident. Maybe um, he would appreciate the girl making the sort of the first move or putting herself out there and initiating conversation. Maybe paying him a compliment or something, try to get to know him a bit better, that sort of thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, 100%, I get that. And when you were like maybe the few times you were engaging with him, even when you weren't engaging with him, when you were around him,
Mm.
like was there a level of, because you come across that you seem to have like quite a lot of energy, you can be quite bubbly, quite smiley and stuff. Was that the side of you that you were showing, or was it more the quieter side of you that
The
because obviously you're around him?
the
Oh,
quieter, the bubbly side. Yeah.
the bubbly side or the quieter side?
The quieter side, not the bubbly side. Because yeah.
Okay, okay. So it could have been that that quiet side was misinterpreted as a lack of interest.
Mm,
Do you see what,
probably.
do you see what I'm saying? Because sometimes as well, like some people, I don't really think you do, if I'm being honest, but sometimes for some people, when they're not smiling, they just have a face that says, "Don't talk to me."
Oh, okay, when I'm yeah, the RBF, yeah.
Yeah, exactly, right? Exactly. Let me just take a look at the chat. Mirrored Simra says, a misunderstanding of what the dynamic was meant to be, perhaps. So I guess what they're saying is it possible that maybe it was just more platonic, I guess, on his part? And
So I guess I should have probably given more context. It was a group of friends, and one of my friends had a conversation with him like a couple of weeks before where he said that he was interested. And so this sort of social setting was a way for us sort of spend a bit more time together and to get to know each other a bit better. So yeah, sorry, I should have
uh, oh,
context.
okay. So you heard from someone else that this guy was interested in
Yeah,
you,
yeah,
and
yeah.
when prior to hearing that, had you seen any signs or no?
Um, I felt there were a couple of looks, you know how they
Okay.
say the eyes they never like. Yeah, so couple of looks. That's
Mm.
what I was kind of picking up on, but I wasn't like 100%. So yeah, a
And
mutual
then
friend conversation with him, and he said he was keen. Yeah.
okay. So then even after you hearing that, like did you see more signs? Because that kind of confirmed your suspicions, or no?
Um, Mostly just kind of eye contact. Yeah, like I said, he comes across as quite shy and awkward himself. Yeah, like, yeah, it's hard to explain.
Okay, okay. It's so funny. This sounds really cute preschool kind of thing. Where it's like the boy and the girl like each other, but they're both too afraid to say, "Hey, I like you."
A little bit, yeah, yeah.
So here's the thing, because if you're more extrovert slash introverted, right?
Mm.
And you kind of know he's more of an introvert, how would you feel about making the first move?
I'd be scared,
Okay,
but
why?
I would have to be the one making the first move because I feel like this guy's not going to do it because of who he is as a person.
Okay, so why are you scared? Because you know he likes you.
I don't know. It's weird. I still have like this self doubt. Like, what if he doesn't? What if? Yeah, fear of rejection, I guess, and then it just gets all like really crappy and embarrassing and awkward. I think, yeah, that's why. Yeah, the fear of him saying no, because he might not be ready. He might have other things going on, which is fair enough. But then it just makes things really, yeah, awkward, doesn't it? If the answer is no.
I get that, of course. Fear of rejection, that's normal.
Yeah.
Let me ask you, is this a guy that you genuinely think is great?
Yes.
Yeah. Is this the kind of guy that you're like, if I got to know him and we built this connection, potentially we could have a future together?
Yes.
Okay. Is the risk of not having the man that you want for the rest of your life worth not taking the risk of just a sorry, I'm not interested?
Very good question.
Is it? Because I'll be
Yeah.
honest, if you're
Mm,
like, hey, you already know he likes you, you already know he's attracted to you, right?
mm,
Like, because your mutual friend talked to him, he looked at, he was like, hey, what do you think of Kaylee? He's like, yeah, Kaylee's a bit of me, right? So
yeah.
at worst, it's like a 70-30 chance that he's
Mm,
gonna say yes. Even if it was a 50-50 chance that he was gonna say yes, for the chance of it being the guy that I'm gonna choose for the rest of my life, that is
mm,
more than worth the risk of a potential rejection, even if it was
yeah.
just 10%. Because the worst he goes, oh, like, I appreciate it, but I just like you as a friend. And I get that's like, oh, gutted because I put myself out there and I got rejected. But I promise you, like, you get over that within a few days.
Yeah, that's true.
Whereas, like, if this is your man, if this is your person, you're like,
Mm,
because you're letting fear stop you getting the dream of the relationship that you've always wanted. And you really shouldn't.
Yeah.
So, how often do you see this guy? Well, I'm gonna help you out right now. How often do you see this guy?
I'd say at least 3 or 4 times a week.
Okay, like at work.
Not at work, no. Just like social settings and yeah. So we kind of have mutual friends and
Okay.
that. Yeah.
How often do you like initiate, like just ask him questions about what he's been up to, what he likes, etc.? How often do you do that?
I'd say at least once or twice. Like, hey, how are you? How was your day? How was work? That sort of thing. Yeah.
Okay. One question I want you to ask him next time you see him is, tell me something about you that no one here knows.
Okay.
Right? Write it down
Okay. Yeah.
for sure.
Okay.
Because what that immediately does when he answers that, first he'll be like, "Oh, I wasn't expecting that." And when he answers that, now you have something between you.
Yeah.
You have a little something between you. It's small, but it counts.
Yeah.
Because now, once he's like, "Oh, like, you know, yeah, like I don't know, one time I broke my leg when I was younger and I couldn't walk for like 3 months, and I was really embarrassed." Because he shared that with you, right? And then you respond with, "Don't worry, your secret's safe with me." Do you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
because he shared that with you now, when he looks at you, there's going to be a level of affinity there.
Mm.
And already that affinity is already going to grow the chemistry between you. Do you know what I mean? Now, here's
Yeah.
the thing. I get as a woman, you're like, I don't want to make the first move because that's quite a masculine thing. 100%. I get that. But it is the feminine that provides the avenue for the
Mm.
man to pursue. Because the man
Yeah.
can't pursue if there's not an avenue, right? So it's like when you provide the avenue, you're saying, "Hey, I'm here." And I think yeah, he might be introverted, so maybe he's a bit nervous. But I think
Mm.
a big part is that he feels there's not an avenue with you.
Yeah.
Does that make
That's
sense?
it does make sense, and I think that's a fair thing to say as well, to be honest. Yeah, you're
Yeah.
probably right, let's be
Yeah.
honest.
I wanna take a shift. What's give me a situationship where you really didn't understand what the guy did and why he did it.
Oh,
And let's break it down.
so can you repeat the what a guy did, and I was confused to why he did it?
Yeah, sure. So maybe you're in a situation where a guy was like something a certain way with you, and you were like, I don't really understand why he's like this, or what he's doing, or why he decided to do this.
Um, oh, let me think. Um,
Or has every guy been perfect of your
oh,
history?
uh, they're so confusing. They're probably really simple, but they're so confusing. I'm just trying to think. Um, put me on the spot.
Mhm.
I'm trying to think.
What's confusing about us?
Oh, I feel like not. I'm not saying this for every guy, but I feel like they just play games. I don't know. They're confusing. They're just say one thing, do another.
Okay, like what? Say that they want something serious and then they don't, or say they're going to take you out and then they don't.
Um, yeah, like well, they just. Oh yeah, let's see where this goes. But I feel like even that statement's like their way of saying this is just casual or I don't want anything serious. I don't know. Like I feel like yeah, they kind of use those kind of words, but it gives us girls hope, and then it's just something casual, and then yeah, you never hear from them. They never make any effort.
Okay, has that
Yeah.
happened? Have you experienced that yourself?
Oh, heaps of times, yeah.
Okay, tell me about the last guy that did that.
Yeah, pretty much how I said it. Like, just wanted to sort of hook up on the weekends, and it was just very casual. Didn't want to, yeah, go out on like dates. Just didn't want anything to be very serious. And he just kept saying those kinds of things. Oh, let's just see where this goes. Let's just see where this goes. And
Okay.
it's a bit that you're not serious about this. This is just a casual thing. You don't want commitment. I don't know. That's just yeah.
Yeah, no, I hear that, and for sure that does happen. Did you want a more serious thing?
To be honest, like. Reflecting now, no, because
Okay.
yeah, I find that kind of off-putting. Do you know what I mean? Like if they're not really saying what that. Well, he probably was saying. I feel like guys kind of tell you through actions rather through words. Like I feel women are more vocal. Like I feel this guy was telling me through his actions, so I probably could have picked up on that a bit sooner. So no, that I don't think. Upon reflection, like he obviously wasn't the one, and that was probably ended for the best. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, of course. And how long were you guys like in a situationship for?
oh, couple of months. It wasn't very long, to be honest. Yeah.
Okay. So it sounds like you're quite discerning then, whether a guy's, doing something serious or not.
Yeah, I
Or not
guess.
really.
Uh, yeah, yes and no. Yeah, I don't know. I
Oh,
still get confused, and I still get maybe because I just like I don't know overthink and doubt myself. More than the other person, if that makes sense.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, of course. And I get we live in this kind of hookup culture and everything like that. Um, in regards to like having casual things or these situationships with guys, how often have you kind of entertained the casual side of things when really you kind of wanted kind of more serious investment?
I don't really entertain it that much, to be honest. It's just not me and who I am. I'm not slamming anyone that
Hmm.
does that. Like, sometimes I wish I could be that kind of person that would just go out and have fun, but then it's just, I don't know, I kind of feel used and abused and it just doesn't go anywhere. I feel like I'm at that age where it's like, it's just a waste of time. Do you know what I mean? So,
Yeah,
um,
yeah,
yeah,
I completely agree. I
yeah.
think I think for most women,
This is why I'm not on the apps because it's just the same thing. Hey, how are you? How's your day? And it's just a conversation that doesn't go anywhere. And then they're like, do you have Snapchat? And they only want your Snapchat, so they send nudes. And like half the time they don't even initiate like meeting up to even do the casual thing. Like I feel like yeah, there's just no effort anymore. It's quite sad, really.
do you think guys are out here looking for attention?
Sometimes I feel like they do. Sometimes do you know how many times I've spoken to guys? Some of them you can tell straight off, like, because they're quite sexual. Some of them actually seem quite decent, but I'm sure you've spoken to heaps of girls that say the same thing. But the amount of times I get ghosted, you talk about actually meeting up and they just ghost. And sometimes I feel like, yeah, they sign up for these apps, not intending to do anything, that it may be an ego boost because they're talking to all the pretty women, attractive women. It makes them feel good, but they have no intention of following it through, whether it be something casual or more serious.
Yeah,
um
I hear that, and I completely get why it looks that way. But if I'm being honest, that's more of the women's approach.
really.
Yeah. With guys, it's more of a numbers game
Yeah.
because so generally speaking, obviously everyone's different, but generally speaking, women will go, no, 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 yes. No, 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 yes. Right? And usually, if she says one yes to like 15 no's, five of her yeses are usually like four matches,
mm,
right? If not every single one is a match. For guys, they go, yes, 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 no.
yeah,
Yes, 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 no. Right? And out of maybe 40 that he says yes on, right? Like a guy's doing well if he matches with like 10 of those.
yeah,
And then out of those 10, right, he knows that out of those 10, probably four of them won't even respond.
yeah,
So he ends up talking to six of them. And then out of the six, he knows usually if he can talk to them and if he's a guy, he's used to talking to women and all of this stuff. Out of six, maybe he can get five on a date. And then out of that five that he's maybe talking to who are open to actually going on a date with him,
mm,
then he'll be like, okay, who do I actually want to take on a date? And out of
mm,
that five, if he's like, okay, I'm going to take these two women on a date, he just stops responding to the other three. Does that make sense?
does make sense. Yeah,
And so it's not, obviously, it's not nice. And, like I said, for guys, it's very much a numbers game. And that's because most guys really struggle on dating apps.
yeah.
Like,
I'm harder for them, and because I find that apps are very just based on physical looks as well, because you see the profile picture.
yeah.
And if it's good picture, people are just swiping, like it's quite harsh, a harsh way of.
Have you found that on the apps? Like, have you only really matched with one kind of guy? Like, what are your matches like?
Um, I mean, look, I can't lie and say that, I'm not using like the looks, like a good photo definitely helps. And then you go on the profile, roughly someone in the same kind of age bracket, someone that's working full time and, maybe goes to the gym or has some kind of hobby. Um, those are the ones I try to sort of look for if I was on them. But in terms of like actual physical looks, I don't really have a type, like in terms of hair color or my only thing is they have to be taller than me. I admit that. Like I get a bit shorter.
How tall are you,
So
Kaylee? How tall are you?
I'm 5'7", which is quite tall for a girl. And a lot of guys lie about their height on their apps. Try saying that they're 5'10", 11, and then you look at their photos and you're like, bruv, you're 5'5". Don't lie.
Well, to be fair, I feel like 5'7". The majority. I mean, I don't know what it's like in Australia, but I'm pretty sure the average height here for a guy is like 5'10". So
I feel
most
like
guys should be
guys
taller.
are. I feel like there's quite a few short guys here. Maybe it's a Melbourne thing. I don't know.
There's some short kings over there. There's some
Short,
short kings over
yeah.
there.
Like if I was like a shorter girl, it'd be okay. But yeah, I don't know. Like if I wear heels, like I don't know, I get a bit funny. I can't be taller than the guy. I'm sure a lot of girls out there listening would agree with me. So
I hear
yeah.
that. And the guys that you choose to go yes on, because I'm assuming you're no, 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 yes, right? When you're swiping.
When you were saying that, I'm like, no, that is so me. But it's true. Yeah, it's
Of
so true.
course, of course. What makes you say yes on a guy's profile? Is it literally just the looks aspect? Do you look at what he does? Like, what makes you say yes?
I mean, I can't lie and say that the looks aren't an important part.
Of course.
Like, yeah. So I'd say it's really bad. I'd probably say 75% looks and then 25% what his bio is saying, which is really bad. But I feel like men are probably worse. They're probably 100% looks.
You're probably right. They're probably 110% looks, I'll be
Yeah,
honest.
10%. So
Unless there's something in the bio that kind of screams out. It's like, oh,
yeah,
she's might be in
flags
trouble.
or something. Yeah, but
Okay.
yeah.
So I would say the thing about dating apps is that while it's great because it gives so much access to so many people, most women end up matching with the top attractive men, is the
Mm,
truth. So if you're saying that you're choosing based on 75% looks, is basically how you're choosing with the guy with out of 40 women, he's probably matching with about 20.
mm,
Do you know what I mean?
yeah,
And so with that, and I get it, like dating apps is literally focused on looks. It's literally focused on looks. But
yeah.
but whether it's dating apps or whether it's real life, when we only choose for looks, ironically, do you know what? Do you know what I found? I'm gonna be so real with you here, right?
Yeah.
And I've found this an experience in terms of for guys and for girls. For a lot of the most attractive people, their character really lacks, man.
100%. Because they
It
rely on looks. Yeah.
It really and a big reason is because when you're very attractive, the world is so much more tolerable of things in you that might be quite toxic and detrimental.
Mm,
But then you go on dating apps and all everyone is checking for is looks.
yeah.
So they're all checking for the small demographic that has the highest chance of
Yeah.
lacking in character.
Yeah. This is why I don't like it. I like meeting people the traditional way. Like even that guy that we were talking about before. Like if you were to bump into him on the street, like he wouldn't be like, like a Calvin Klein model or anything like that. But it's just other things about him, like he's nice, he's polite, he's friendly, he's funny, he's caring. And I just those sorts of things you can pick up on a person when you meet them the
Mm.
traditional don't know that about a person when you're just looking at a picture on an app and they're trying to tell you about I don't know. Yeah, I don't like the app dating culture. I think it's
Could you not search for those qualities on an app? And I know you can't tell if a guy's nice or polite and stuff, but at least, you know, if you choose a guy that you're like, okay, he's not the most attractive, but I could work with it. And then
Mm,
after talking to him, you can then decide from that whether he's a kind guy from the conversation and chat.
yeah, yeah, that's true.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it is true.
I appreciate your time. Thank you
Yep.
for sharing your love life with us.
Thank-
What was your homework, Kaylee? Because I gave you homework. What was your homework?
Oh, you wanted me to talk to my guy and ask him to tell me something that no one else in the group knows, and then
Hmm. And then
yeah.
what when he tells you, what's your response?
Oh, I can't remember what the response.
Kaylee, naughty.
Sorry, we got sidetracked with so much conversation today.
No, no.
Yeah,
The response is, "Don't worry, your secret is safe with me."
that's it. Yeah, and
You
then
got it.
thing that no one else
At least that honestly, all you're doing there is planting the seed.
planted the seed. Yeah.
You're just planting the seed. Kaylee, we appreciate you. Thanks for
Thanks so
coming on.
much. Cheers.
Thanks. Bye.
Yeah.
Bye. Ladies. Don't be afraid to make the move. When I say make the move, I'm not saying you don't have to go and ask him out. If you want to do that, do it. Right. Do you know what I mean? And most guys would not expect that. So even if you're approaching him, he would be caught off guard, ironically. But I've just never understood, and maybe it's because I'm a guy, but I've just never quite understood how like women have elevated themselves so much and they're such go-getters, especially when it comes to their career. They're like, I want to do this, I'm gonna go to this school, study hard, all of this stuff. Women are killing it. But then when it comes to guys, it's like they're the most passive thing. They're like, no, I could never make that first move. Why? Women used to make the first move all the time, but they just did it in a very feminine way. Do you know what I mean? And we should definitely have more confidence to do that, especially if it means potentially finding your person. But we appreciate Katie for coming on. I've got another great guest. I'm going to bring her into the chat right now, and let's see what she's got. Faye.
Hi,
Hello. Happy Sunday.
Andj.
How you doing?
So nervous. I don't know why.
You're nervous. Maybe you've never
Yeah,
done this before.
vibes.
That's all right. Listen, we're gonna take it easy. We'll have a nice chat, and we'll see where you're at. But I'm gonna jump in. So tell us your age and what you do for a living.
So I'm 32 and I own a salon in Kent.
Okay, you're southeast.
Yeah,
I love Kent. I love Kent. It's so quiet and peaceful compared to
yeah,
London, for
it's
sure.
lovely.
And what's something that you want from your love life that you feel you're not getting right now?
I don't know. It's a bit of a tough one because obviously I'm married, aren't I? So
You're a married woman.
yeah, so it's a bit of a tough one. I don't know. Maybe it's just like having more time. Because I feel like you can be with someone for so long and just you lose that time together, like you forget about each other, I suppose.
Yeah, you get comfortable with being in
Yeah,
each other's lives.
yeah.
And when you say time, do you mean like actually going out on dates, or do you mean like time together where you're not both kind of just scrolling Instagram and just watching TV and stuff?
I think it's like more like actual time, like spending
Hmm.
time together and going on dates as well.
Yeah. Do you feel like you go on dates?
We do, but obviously where we've got children as well, it's quite hard. So we're both working, we've got children, and there's a lot around us, so it's
Mm.
quite hard to find that time with each other.
How often? How many times a week do you dedicate? This is, he's like, this is Faye time, and you go, this is my man time. How many times a week do you guys do that?
Depends. It depends what we're doing, or what.
Okay.
Yeah, it depends on because sometimes I could be at work till late, and then sometimes he's at work late, and I'll
Mm.
be at home, and then by the time he gets home, I'll be in bed. Like, so it's. I think it's more just like finding the time for each other, really.
Mm. And how many kids do you guys have, if you don't mind me asking?
4.
Oh, you got your hands full.
Yeah, we're both very busy.
You have got your hands full. Well, it sounds like you're doing a great job if you're both still there doing it. It's interesting because it's so. Was it when the kids came along, or did you get comfortable beforehand?
I think, do you know what? I think it's like further when you move in together and yeah, you know, like because when you're not living together, I think it's still kind of like new and fresh, isn't it?
When you're not living together, in order to spend time together, you have to be intentional.
Yeah,
Because if you're not intentional, it's like you just won't see each other.
yeah,
And then you live together, and then you don't have to be as intentional anymore because it's like I can just look around the door and see you.
yeah,
So it's one of those things where how can we maintain intentionality even when we've got these relationship responsibilities? Because I think it is, you know, you don't want to feel like you're living with a housemate. You want to feel like you're living with your lover who you're married to.
yeah, yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I think it's easily done though, isn't it?
It definitely can be. If you both want to be intentional about it, it definitely can be done. Even if it's like half an hour a week, be like, okay, babe, this is me and you time. No kids, no phones. Do you know what I mean? When was the last time you did that together?
What, just together?
Yeah, like where like the time you spent was purely focused on each other.
I don't actually know.
No, Faye, really? That long?
No, we do like, you know, like if we'll be at home together and we'll sit and watch TV, but it's watching TV. Do you know what I mean? So we do spend time together, but I can't remember the last time that we actually went on a date away from everything.
If you could plant that seed in his mind, imagine if you said something and just planted a seed in his mind, what would you say?
I don't know. I'm really bad at things like this.
No, you're not. You know what you want.
I do know what I want. I'm guessing that's why I am married, you know, because I know what I want out of a relationship. But I think like it's so easy, you know, like because you have a lot of conversations about people that are struggling to get into relationships.
Yeah.
And obviously when people are actually in them, you have to be consistent, just as consistent as at the beginning.
Very, very true. For sure. You absolutely do. And when you see other kind of women, like few of your friends may be single, what are they saying about the dating scene right now?
To be honest, we don't really talk about it a lot, to be honest. This
Oh,
is
really? Do they not ask you for advice?
about it. Like,
Then they ask you for advice or no?
What, my friends?
Yeah, I mean, because you're the married woman, right? You're single friends.
To be honest, I haven't really got many single friends.
You see birds of a feather.
Yeah, see, there's a couple of girls that obviously I work with that I have said to them, you just got to wait for the right person, because I feel like a lot of people force it, or they go out looking for it. And when I met Charlie, I wasn't looking for anything. Like, I was done with men. I was like, I hate men. I think they're all awful, and I weren't looking for it, you know. And I think that's what I would say to people is just don't look for it. Like, I think you've got to work on yourself first.
I completely agree. I think when you become the person who's right for the relationship that you want, that's when you attract the person that's right for you. Why did you hate all men? Why did you hate us? What did we do? What did we do to you, Faye? What did we do?
Quite a few things, really. I was cheated on, lied to. I think being in bad relationships made me realise what I didn't want from someone else. So it kind of made me like, I had my guard up massively, and it took a while for it to come down. But I just assumed that all men were the same.
Okay.
Because obviously of previous. But I think if you don't meet, like, I don't regret none of it, because I think it wouldn't make me who I am now, if that makes sense, like towards men.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. And what's different about your husband? Because obviously you gave him a chance when you were in this kind of I hate all men phase. So what made you kind of give that the opportunity?
Because when men would message me, they would say, "Do you want to go for drinks in a hotel, or do you want to go for drinks and I don't know, just go to their house?" And
In the first message?
yeah, like that, yeah. And I would be like, "No,"
Wow.
I'd ignore it because I think no. And he actually messaged me through because he knew a friend of a friend, and he messaged me and was like, "Do you want to go karting?" So I was like, "Yeah." So he was different. It was different, and he made me laugh. I think that's a big thing. That was a big thing for me.
Yeah, of course. And what was it in him that the previous guys didn't have that made you go, I want this
At
man?
the time, I thought because he was so nice, it was really warming. Whereas the boys that I'd probably have gone for before were quite bad.
In what sense? What give me the typical archetype of what you went for before?
So no, there was just like, how do I explain it? Look, they just wasn't very nice. Like they wouldn't make time for you. They would cheat. You know, like they would pick and choose when they wanted to speak to you. So like, I think he was when you said to Kay, I think it was Kaylee earlier when you said about weekends, or she said it. Like they would pick you up and drop you when they felt like it. They'd be nice when they wanted something, and then go the other way when they got what they wanted, I suppose.
100%. What
Yeah,
what
but he was very
no,
different.
yeah, and sounds like he was very consistent.
Yeah, he is. He is a good guy. He's. I used to think, oh, is he too nice? You know, and you think, oh, is it too good to be true? Because there are nice men out there, but I think you've got to meet the bad ones to meet the nice one first.
Can I be honest with you, Faye? Most guys are the nice guys. Most guys are nice guys. The only thing is that the nice guys don't get noticed.
Yeah, no, that's true. I agree.
They really get looked over, and I think sometimes what can happen is I think for a lot of women they're so used to the emotional roller coaster of being with the bad boy where you get the highs and the lows, right? And the high feels like a hit for a drug addict.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, like this guy's choosing me and we're spending time together and all this stuff. And then they get into a low when he's being distant, being neglectful, not being intentional, not being consistent. And what does a drug addict do when they're having withdrawals? They're just looking for that next hit. Whereas a nice guy is just very consistent.
Yeah.
And sometimes it seems boring. So when you were dating your husband at first, in comparison, did he feel a bit safe? Did he feel I would say boring, but did he feel not as exciting as previous?
I wouldn't say that because he's very he made me laugh. I think he kind of how do I explain it? Like he kind of took away all them bad thoughts that I had before of men because he did make me feel safe. He
Made
made
you
me
feel
feel
safe.
comfortable. Yeah, he made me feel comfortable, and he was very reassuring. And he's still like that now. To be fair, like he's very
It's
consistent.
beautiful.
But obviously, I can be a bit tough on him sometimes.
How so? How so?
I don't know. Like sometimes that guard, you know, like it comes down, but it's not all the way. I think because in the back of your mind, like if I'm being honest, I think when you've been treated bad in the past, even if you feel comfortable with someone else, in the back of your mind, you're always going to think, well, I've got to be careful what I say in case you can hear me. But you know, like you think everyone is capable of cheating or everyone's capable of being bad, you know, like, and I just think, even though I don't think that right now, in the back of my mind, that's what you consistently think.
Yeah, no, 100%. Well, the thing is, Faye, you're not actually wrong. Everyone is technically capable of it,
Yeah.
right? Some people, it just takes very extreme conditions. Some people, the conditions are very easy for them to kind of slip into that. But one thing I think is better for us is it's not about stressing whether they're going to do that or not, because we actually can't control what they do.
Yeah.
We can't control someone else's actions. All we can do, or not even just all we can do, but the best thing for us to do is go, okay, how will I handle this should this happen?
Yeah.
How am I going to handle it? Do you know what I mean? So, like, for example, if you're if you're like, okay, cool, let's say you guys were married, didn't have kids, you're like, okay, if he cheated on me and I knew he did it because he actually fell for someone else or there was emotions there, I know I'm out.
Yeah.
If he did it because he just wanted to get a quick fix, I know I'm out.
Yeah.
Right. And once you know how you're going to handle the situation, and this goes for everything, once you know how you're going to handle whatever worst case scenario is, you can stop worrying about it.
Mm.
You can literally stop worrying about it. So it's funny, I don't really get jealous. Like, I'm not a jealous
I'm
person.
not a jealous person. I don't think I am anyway.
What like if you guys went out to a bar, let's say you were having one of your nights, you went out to a bar, and then he's like, you have a table, he's like, okay, babe, I'm gonna go get us a drink. And then he goes to the bar and you see like a woman just kind of, just try and start conversation. Maybe she's, kind of subtly trying to hit on him. How would you handle that?
It depends how drunk I am.
I respect the honesty.
I'm not really a jealous person, but it would make me feel a certain way inside, but I wouldn't react to it, if that makes sense.
What would it make you feel?
Probably a little bit jealous, actually. It would, but I think I have enough. Do you know what it would be? It would be that I would watch to see how he would react to that.
Sure. Very true.
Before I reacted to anything, if that makes sense.
Mm.
Because I feel like it's important for him to react the way I don't want to say the way he should.
Appropriately.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, 100%. Now, so here's the thing. There's nothing wrong with being a bit jealous.
Mm.
But I want to offer an alternative perspective. What if you could see that as, wow, this really confirms that I've got a great guy because there's some other woman hitting on him?
Yeah, it does. He's just literally gone.
Do you know what I mean?
He's agreeing with you.
Yes, Charlie. Is it Charlie?
Yeah.
Yes, Charlie. Because I'll be honest. So like when I go out with my woman, like honestly, she gets to us all the time. She's gorgeous. And I'm like, yeah. Of course guys want you. Duh.
Yeah.
A lot of guys will be like, oh, like this guy's trying to talk to her, this guy's trying to talk to her, all of this stuff. And it's like, bro, if you've got a beautiful woman and you've got a good woman and you've got a good man, of course other people are gonna take notice of that.
Yeah, 100%.
Especially when you've got a relationship together.
Mm.
And also there is this thing that when a guy's in a relationship, it makes him more attractive.
Yeah, 100%.
Why is that? I think I know, but I want to ask you, why do you think that is?
I'm not sure. I think it's because I think more this generation now. Not to be fair, it's probably always been bad, but I think now people don't know how to. I don't think people can hold relationships well. Like, people don't know how to communicate and things like that. So I think when someone has got that connection and like we're quite good at communicating, I think that's what's made us last.
Yeah.
We communicate really well, but I think when you see someone that's got that and deep down it, it's what you want as well. I think that can automatically make a woman or a man more attractive when they're in a relationship.
Yeah, 100%.
But I feel like people obviously are struggling to get it.
Yeah. Do you think people are struggling to get it today because people are different, or do you think it's just a harder environment?
I think people are a lot different now.
Okay.
Like when I look back at my nan and granddad, they were together from when they were young. They stayed together no matter whether they had a fight, a row, like all of these things, They worked through it. Because it was quite frowned upon then, wasn't it, I suppose, but I think people give up on each other too easy now.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. Does that mean if we made it harder for people to break up, would that be a good thing?
I don't think so. I'm not sure, because people would be unhappy, wouldn't they?
They could be. And listen, I actually haven't decided what my thought process is on this.
Mm.
But it's like, but if someone goes, hey, this is your person and you're forced to make it work,
Yeah.
which is what it was back in the day, people made it work.
Yeah, they did.
Do you know what the irony is? The happiest marriages are arranged marriages.
Are they?
That's crazy.
That is crazy.
Like that to think that arranged marriages are essentially where it's like two families are like, hey guys, make it work.
Yeah, and then they have to.
And they have to, and those are the happiest ones.
That's crazy.
And I think that's something we can
But they know
say.
they have to be together, though. So they, like you said, they have to make it work.
It's interesting because a lot of the time I think as human beings, obviously I'm not saying we should not have our freedoms, right?
Yeah.
But a lot of the time we can think more freedom is always better.
Mm.
And maybe it's not.
No, maybe it isn't.
Maybe like more accessibility, more options isn't actually better because, well, this is like an actual, do you know what I say if someone's a maximizer? Do you know what that is?
No.
So someone's a maximizer, someone who they want to explore all their options before making a decision.
Yeah.
So like if someone goes to the supermarket and like they're trying to decide which brand of shampoo they want to get, right? And they're looking for certain requirements in terms of like chloride levels and maybe even hydrogen levels and all of this stuff. They will look at every single option before going, okay, this is the one that I want.
Yeah.
Whereas someone who's more of a satisficer is when they find the option that matches what they're looking for, then they take it regardless of the other options. But the issue with the maximizer is even if they choose one, they still think there might potentially be one that's a little bit better that they could have gotten. And I think many of us, this over accessibility with people like dating apps and, the internet and stuff like this, tend to fall into the maximizer category. And I think this especially happens for more women than men. Because women have an abundance of options.
Yeah.
A lot of the time.
I think dating apps scare me anyway.
Did you ever use one before getting married?
I had Tinder, but me and my friend, we used to just swipe and just find it really funny. But
you're just getting that attention hit, Faye.
Just swiping. But yeah, no, I never went and met anyone off it. I'm too paranoid to like, oh no, my luck, I'd end up with someone crazy.
Getting kidnapped.
Yeah, literally, that's what I think.
Yeah. Do you have any single friends?
Yeah, I do have some single friends.
Yeah, and when they talk to you, what is it that they're struggling with?
I think it's mainly same as Kaye, really. She was saying it's finding someone that stays, basically. Like I think like even some of my friends that are single, like they are the most loveliest girls and they're so beautiful, and they just end up speaking to these men that are not really interested in anything long term.
Why do you think they're choosing those men?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I don't know whether it's. I don't know. Why do you think women go for bad guys?
I think that there are certain traits in a bad boy that make him respected, and that's what women find attractive. It's not a guy being nice that makes a woman go, I want to sleep with you. It's a man who is respected that makes her go, I want your seed.
Yeah.
Because if a guy is successful, attractive, and confident, whether he is nice or not, you respect him. But if a guy doesn't have those things, but he's the sweetest and nicest thing, and he doesn't have anything about him that as a woman you can respect him as a man,
Yeah.
you're not having sex with him. You might put him in the friend zone. You might
Yeah.
put him in the friend zone, but you're not having sex with him.
Yeah.
Right? That level of drive. Because at least generally speaking, there's two kind of theory of mating strategies between men and women. You know, both men and women have two different mating strategies.
Yeah.
When it comes to the sexual allure, generally speaking, the male who is more capable is more attractive sexually.
Mm.
And so traits like being confident, earning good money, being in good shape, all of these are prerequisites to us thinking that this person is a very capable person.
Mm.
And that's why that's attractive, not being nice. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? That doesn't
Yeah.
mean people shouldn't be nice, but I think at the moment we live very much in a culture where it only pushes to the top people who demonstrate to be very capable in different aspects. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
No.
the biggest thing in dating apps, I mean, it's like looks, right? Do you know what I mean? So I think, honestly, I think for most women who feel like they're struggling to find a guy to commit, I think the main two things that I've come across is that one, they're selecting guys primarily on looks, and that's not saying looks aren't important, but like Katie said before, you know, she was like, I choose 75% of why I choose a guy is based on looks. I'm like, looks don't make the relationship sweet.
Mm.
And they go, everyone
So,
loses their looks over
they
time.
do fade. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And the thing is, everybody acclimatizes. It's like we forget, like the novelty of someone being super attractive. Yeah, you can still look at them and be like, wow, like you're beautiful, you're really handsome. Do you know what I mean?
Mm.
But you get used to it.
Yeah.
Like you get used to being with them. So, you know, it's kind of like, you remember the last time you bought a nice car or you bought yourself a car
Mm.
and you were like, I'm going to drive this everywhere because I just want to be in my new whip.
Yeah.
And after a year, like you still like the car, but you weren't like, look at my car.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you
No,
know what I mean?
yeah. Makes sense. Bit like that.
Did you ever fall into that? Just like kind of just choosing a guy purely based on looks back in the day?
Possibly.
I can hear your husband in the background. He's like, yeah.
Yeah, I would say so because I think that's the first thing you see, isn't it? Look, but I think for me, like, it's really important that someone's funny as well,
Yeah.
spontaneous, because I'm quite a spontaneous person.
Yeah.
So they're the kind of things that I normally look for.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, it is. It's probably not getting to know someone quicker than I probably should. Do you know what I mean? Like, rather than getting to know them and going on a few dates, I've always been in relationships.
So you're very used to getting commitment.
Yeah, I've even from like a young age in school, I had a boyfriend all through school. So it's like I've always been in relationships.
Yeah, 100%. Mirad Semra just says the shiny new toy syndrome. 100%. My generation definitely has that. The shiny new toy syndrome. It's interesting because there's some women who really struggle to get commitment and really want it, and you have some women like yourself where you're very much used to getting that serious investment from guys that you're with.
Yeah.
What do you think you're doing differently that brings that out of a man, that makes a guy go, I want to give my commitment to you?
I have no idea. I definitely don't have no idea. I think because when I'm in a relationship, I do put my all into it. But I do put that person before me a lot, and I probably shouldn't all the time, but I do.
Yeah.
I don't know. I have no
Do
idea.
you, does a guy who treats you well, does that make him more attractive in your eyes, or does it play no part in it?
100% now, yes. But
Okay.
before, I wasn't bothered, but now I think because I've had bad relationships and I have a good one now. Obviously, when I speak to some of my friends and they're going through like a bad time with a bad guy,
Yeah.
like, it can be frustrating because I'm like, trust me, the good ones are more worth it. There's like, it's better to be treated nice than it is to be with someone that's going to make you cry every other day.
Yeah. I think, and we all have our own growth to do. Do you know
Yeah.
what I mean? We all have our own growth, myself included, for sure. I think a big thing that can prevent people from being open to connecting with someone who's great is because how they're treated by the other person doesn't affect how much they're attracted to them.
Mm.
So like, if say, for example, if we're going to use very arbitrary rating, right? Let's say out of 100, for you to continue to choose a guy, yeah, you have to be, the level of your draw to him has to be 80 out of 100.
Yeah.
Now, I think for a lot of women who find maybe they're not getting that investment from guys, or they keep finding themselves choosing the wrong guys or investing in the wrong guys, is, let's say they meet a guy and it's an 85 out of 100 because he's attractive, because he's funny, because he's confident, etc. But then if he doesn't treat her that well, it still stays at 85. She's like, okay, he doesn't treat me that well, but I'm still really attracted to him. Like, I'm still really drawn to him, right? And a lot of the time when we haven't done that healing in ourselves to where we're ready for a healthy relationship, their rating stays at that level regardless of how they treat us.
Yeah.
But someone who's in a healthy place and is ready for a healthy relationship, right? If he's an 85, but he treats someone poorly or treats you poorly, it's like, okay, he's gone from 85 to maybe a 65, in which now I'm not attracted to him anymore.
Yeah.
And equally, a guy might start at 65, but then he treats you really well, gives that level of investment, makes you feel safe. And he goes from a 65 to maybe an 80. And you're like, you know what? Initially, first on, looks and stuff, maybe that wouldn't have been me. But because of what he gave me, that just made me really attracted to him. But we have to be in a healthy place for that.
Yeah, 100%. I think you do. I think you have to be comfortable with yourself to be able to be with anyone else. But I think a lot of people, they just settle to just have someone there. And I think that sometimes that's when it may become quite toxic.
Yeah, for sure. When it comes to settling, I think a lot of the time when someone says like, oh, that person settled, a lot of the time they're regarding to the objective desirability of the person. So it's like, oh, I know that she actually wanted a guy who's this attractive and who's this confident, whatever. She settled for him. But it's like, if the guy that she's with actually treats her better than what this really desirable guy objectively does, is that settling, or did she get what's actually best for her?
No, they're getting what's best for them, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I think when a woman is settling, she's settling when she's not getting the level of treatment that she wants from a man, regardless of how desirable he is or not. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You said you have 4 kids. Do you have a son and a daughter, or are they all boys or all girls?
3 girls, 1 boy.
3 girls, 1 boy. If you had to give one piece of advice to your daughters about men, what would you tell them?
Don't get a boyfriend.
Stay away from them. They're trouble.
Yeah. To be fair, my eldest, she's quite tough. She's quite tough, and she's I would just say become friends with people first, like get to know people properly. I do tell them though, I'm like, don't need to be in a relationship, just enjoy your life.
But she'll be like, but mom, that's what you did, and look how you turned out. You're great.
Oh, no. But yeah, no, I don't know really. I think until they've kind of just got to figure it out for themselves, you know.
Mm,
So I would just say just be yourself, and the right person will probably come to them.
yeah. And if you're gonna give some guy game to your son about women, what would you tell him about women?
Just to be nice, like treat women right.
Not nice, Faye. That's the wrong answer.
Oh no. What's the right answer?
What did your husband say?
Be like your dad.
Be like, I mean, clear that worked, right? That worked. I would say, this is my opinion. I don't have a son yet, by the grace of God. I would say, be good, not nice.
Be good, not nice.
As in, be good. Don't be nice, be good.
Yeah.
I think there's a big difference. I think the nice guy it's kind of like, imagine getting a guard dog for your house. Like, if you want to get a guard dog, you don't want to get the dog that just attacks everyone.
Yeah.
Who can take a guy, like they can take one out and they just attack everyone, because how does that help you and your family, right?
Yeah.
But equally, you don't want to get the dog who's just nice to everyone, because when the burglar comes, the dog's like, oh, hey, let me show you where everything is.
Come in.
Do you know what I mean? Come on in.
Yeah.
There's more room. You want the dog that's capable of taking someone out, but is loving towards you and your family.
Yeah.
And friends. That's the difference between a nice guy and a good guy. The good guy is capable of being bad, but he chooses to be good.
Yeah.
And a lot of the time, because of the level of respect he has for himself, he knows how to set boundaries. The nice guy is incapable. So it's kind of like, what do they say? I think Jordan Peterson says this, but he says, weakness isn't a virtue. Like, just because, like, not fighting because you can't fight, that doesn't make you a good person. That just makes you an incapable person. But fighting and choosing not, like, being able to fight, but then choosing not to.
Yeah.
Until the time is right. I think that's the kind of man most women should choose. I think it's good.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Faye, we appreciate you for coming on. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for sharing your life with us, your story. Say hi to your husband. We appreciate his contribution to the conversation. And thanks for staying up with us. We appreciate you.
Thank you. See you later.
Enjoy your evening. Bye. Yes, guys, don't be nice, be good. Don't be nice, be good. I'd even say this for the women, to be honest. Well, would I say that for the women? I feel like women can afford to be nice, like really nice and sweet, and they'll still get the guy that they want, because a lot of the time guys aren't, the sexual attraction for men isn't which woman's the most capable. Do you know what I mean? A lot of time, actually, it's the girl who I guess is, well, you can say the most nice. I think women can get away with being nice for sure. Like, nice girls generally do get guys. It may not always be the bad boy or the guys that they desperately want, but they do get guys. But as a guy, don't be nice, my guy. Don't be nice, be good. Be capable first and then choose that for good. If you do that, you'll sweep any lady off her feet, no doubt. Guys, thank you for tuning in. We appreciate you for joining us on this Sunday evening or morning, wherever you are, if you're on the side of the world, or afternoon. Of course, you know, we're doing this every Sunday. So we should be back next Sunday with a couple of guests, which we will. And if you're catching this after the fact, I hope you enjoyed the stream. Next time, come join us for live. We want to hear your input. Mirad, Semra, we appreciate your input today during the chat. And yes, I will see you in the next video. Have a great day, guys.